Hello listeners, I am Anurag Kumar Arora. In this video log, I will demonstrate backdoor and steganography practical in my virtualization machine. These are the topics that will be covered regarding the backdoor and attacks, how backdoor attack occurs, about backdoor demo, and then we'll see the backdoor live demo in Windows XP. Then we'll come to steganography. We'll see how the steganography is done. Then I'll show the demo. Moving ahead, I'll share some of the application of steganography and exploits. Then we'll end up this presentation by looking at some prevention measures that can be taken to prevent backdoor attacks and if used by attackers from steganography also. Let's start with the basic first. Imagine you are a robber and you are going to rob a house and you see in the lawn that there are some security people standing, security guards, and it has some cameras and all. So what will you do? You will think, okay, there must be some backdoor. I should go from the back door. So as we listen to the term backdoor, what comes to our mind? It's something like the secret door. And secret doors are generally used for malicious activities, right? So similar to that concept, in the world of cybersecurity or cybercrime, that backdoor is a type of malware that gives cyber criminals unauthorized access to a system. RAT refers to remote access Trojan, which is a malware program that includes a backdoor for administrative control over the target computer. The hackers install these malware through unsecured point of entry. That's why it's always advised to have the ports closed, which are not required, or at least some security must be implemented, like firewall and all. This diagram shows how backdoor attack occurs. It shows 4 steps that once user visit the infected website, then it downloads some malware, it's injected into his system. Now the backdoor is created from the Trojan, and now the hacker will have a command over that user machine or the server. Now, before starting with the demo of backdoor, I'd like to mention about the demo. We'll see what's our plan, how will we execute our plan, and what is the expected outcome. Our plan is to create a backdoor in victim system and exploit it. How will we execute our plan? Firstly, we'll create a malicious server file and inject it into victim machine. We'll use some software to achieve it. Example, ProRat in this case. What is the expected outcome? The outcome we are expecting here is after we have injected the file and created a backdoor in victim machine, that is XP, we'll use another machine to exploit it. So let's go and see the live demo. In this live demo, I'll be using 2 XP machines. One XP machine will act as a victim. Second XP machine will act as an attacker system. Then the tool which I'll be using is ProRat. Let me switch to my virtual machine and show the demo. So this is my first XP machine that will be acting as my victim. So I see the IP of this machine is 10.0.2.5. This is XP machine. Now I'll show you my second XP machine, which will be acting as an attacker. So maybe we can differentiate it using the screen desktop background. So yeah, I'll start the ProRat software. So this is how it looks. So I'll spend a minute explaining about the tool before we start our actual demonstration. So here we have this very important button, which is help. So if we click on help button, ProRat will show us all the details about it. So this button formats all the drive on your victim computer. Why? Because I have selected some give damage option. Okay, no worries. Okay, help. So if I click on help, it will open a similar screen to me, and for all the options, whatever in option I click, it will give me the help button. So what all I can do with this software or ProRat, it will show me all the details are written here. So I want to mention important thing about the Pro Connective one. So there are 2 things here. One is remote connection and one is local one. So in case if you want to do the remote connection, that is machines when 2 systems are lying in different networks, we can use this. So if we click R, it will help me creating a remote. It will start listening for that from that particular IP that we have given, and the reverse TCP will be created. But in our case, we'll be using it. Both the machines are in my VM, and I'll not be using a remote one, and we'll be using as local. So here it mentions the port 5110. So this is the default port which is used. So whenever we'll inject our server or Trojan to the or the backdoor to the victim machine, this port will be opened after my code is executed. So if I Google about this 5110 port, it says like generally the hackers and all are using this port to perform these malicious activities generally related to TCP or UDP. So without wasting time, I'll firstly create my backdoor. So if I click on create button, create ProRat server. So here it is asking, so I'm creating a use ProRat reverse connection. All these three options doesn't support. So here I will give my IP address. So my current IP address is 10.0.2.5. Now I can go to some general settings. Here the port is defined, which is default one. If you want, we can change it depending upon our requirement. Then we have some options here. Give a fake error message. We can do it for a testing purpose, but generally we should not do it. Otherwise, it will give an idea to the attacker that, okay, something has happened. Melt server on install. This means once my file is installed or my malicious file is installed, this will be melted down, or the original file will only remain. What I mean by original file, let's see. Bind in this option, bind with file. So if I am sending an executable code, that attacker or victim might not run it in his own machine, and it might get deleted by his Windows Defender security or something. But let's say if I have readme file, no one will delete the readme file, right? And for sure, if I'm sending a readme file, a user will be curious to open that file, and he will think, okay, it has some information about that software, so he will be opening that. So in my today's demonstration, I'll bind my server to a readme file. So see here, I have a readme file present. I am binding it with it. Server will bind with readme.txt. So now a file will be created. That file I have to share. So, okay. So now if I click on create server, it is creating a server for me. Okay. It has been created with server settings in your directory. I can also configure the icon, or some options are there. Okay, so let me take some icon. Let's say I'm taking this icon. Let's see. Okay, I've selected this server icon, create server. Okay, so now my binded server is created. Now what I need to do is I need to send this server to victim. Copy. So I am sending it in my shared drive. Now let's go to the victim machine, and the victim will open this. This is the binded server. Now just see, now just take a look at this server. If I double click it, it has opened it, but see, that has been dissolved as we have checked that option. Now only text file remains. User will not know what has happened. Nothing, right? He cannot see this minute difference, but in the background, my malicious code is running. My server is getting executed. And now when I go back to my attacker machine, attacker system, I have given the IP address of the okay, there was some old connection created. So I give the IP address of my victim 10.0.2.15. I'll check what is the IP address. 10.0.2.15. Okay. So now when I click on connect, it will ask a password to me. I click on OK, and it says connected. So now I have connected to that victim without his knowledge. So now I can do lots of stuff here. Many things are there. Maybe we can go to help and see what all I can do. So I'll demonstrate one or two things. Maybe I can go to this funny stuff. Maybe I can go to this help, and see what all I can do. So I'll demonstrate one or two things. Maybe we can go to help and see what all I can do. So I'll demonstrate one or two things. Maybe I can go to this funny stuff. Maybe I can go to this help, and see what all I can do. So I'll demonstrate one or two things. Maybe I can go to this funny stuff. Maybe I can go to this help, and see what all I can do. So I'll demonstrate one or two things. Maybe I can go to this funny stuff. and click on flip screen. So if we see the screen is flipped. So this is how we can control the victim. We can even shut down his system, or I can run iExplorer. I can set up some sites. I can run some sites or restricted sites from his machine. I can even give damage. I can format his drive. So yes, this is how we'll create a server. We'll connect to the remote machine using this particular port and exploit the victim. So yeah, this was about our demo regarding the backdoors. Now let's move. What do we see? A cute little baby, right? But what if I say you are trapped? What if I say the cute little baby you saw was much more than just an image? Let's see how. To explain this, I need to explain the concept of steganography. Steganography is a technique of hiding secret message into something that is not secret. Example, storing or hiding a text in a video, image, or audio. Steganography is the art and science of hiding information. It's an old form of encryption that has found a new purpose in hacker community. Nowadays, these hackers are using it to hide their messages. And also they're hiding their malicious code, which they rebuilt in the victim machine again and can exploit the victim. Now let's see how steganography is done. If you see the image on the left hand side, we know images are composed of RGB combinations and all. So if we see red, green, and blue, it has some pixel values are there. So let's see these example bit values are given on the original image side. After hiding the message, the bit values are changing. If you see, the bit value is increased, and generally we try to store our data, malicious data, or the data we want to hide in the lower bits, so that the image doesn't change. So see, even after hiding the message, the image remains same, which we see on left hand side. So yeah, I'll show the similar kind of thing in my demonstration. So now I will show the demonstration. I'll show the demonstration in my Windows 10 machine, which is in my virtual box. We'll see how do we do the image steganography with a text file, and then how to differentiate between them. Let me go to my virtual box Windows 10 machine. So now I am in my Windows 10 machine. I can see I've downloaded one image. If you can see this image, let it open. The image name is myimg.png. This is a PNG format image. So the test, nothing. I have a secret file with me. I've stored some secret in a text file. Let's say I've written a message. This is a secret message. Following is the code. So I have written some code or something that I want to transfer to victim. Any message I can store. I can. It was used to store the messages, but nowadays the hackers are storing it to share the malicious code or some scripts to the attacker in the image, and then they can send it to the victim. So this is my secret message. So now I can use the command copy. /b is for binding. I want to do this particular kind of binding kind of thing, that is steganography, where I want to hide my secret message into the lower bits or the LSBs of my image. Okay, my image.png that I showed. So here is my image.png. Then I see the secret.txt file, and this is my output file, test1.jpg. So let's see if I press enter. So it says one file is copied. So now I minimize it. So if I open this image, this is test1.jpg. Take some time to open. I do not see any change. No one can see this change, right? But there is one way I can see this image is size is 20 KB. This image size is 19.8 KB. This means something is injected into it. No one will be able to figure out these kind of differences. So if I want to see if the steganography was successful or not, I'll try to open this with a notepad. This is how I retrieve it. So see, this is all my image code, some gibberish code I say. And if I go at the end, my message will be here. So yeah, this is how steganography is done. Also, I promise that I'll tell how do we differentiate. So one of the ways is I can see the size. Another thing is if I want to differentiate, I can compare their hash values. The hash values will be different. So yeah, this is another way people work on see how it differentiates. So yeah, this was about the steganography demo. Now I want to discuss some of the applications of steganography and how it is used for exploit. So basically, steganography is used for confidential communication and secret data storing. It reduces the risk of information leakage. Of course, no one will suspect my image will have some text embedded into it, right? So yeah, it acts as a carrier for me. And for exploiting purpose, as I already mentioned, hackers can use it to send code to victims, a victim machine, and later they can reconstruct the payload and exploit the user system. So now, before ending this video log, I want to discuss on some of the prevention measures that can be taken to prevent us from the attacks. So firstly, let's talk about backdoor attacks. So in this, we can use some tools like TCP view to analyze the open TCP connections. And if we see some unnecessary connections are made, we should close it, because we are using the concept of TCP connection being made. And through that connection in ProRat tool, the user was, or the attacker was, controlling the victim's machine. We should analyze using process monitors. Port monitor should be there. We should have website scanners. Firewall should be there. System must always be up to date. Intrusion detection systems, IDS, should be there. And we should not be getting trapped in phishing mails to download the contents, because they are really harmful to us. Now let's see some of the measures to prevent from steganography, if at all it's used by attackers. So we should tighten the software delivery and distribution mechanism. We should look closely at the images. So it's really difficult to figure out, but yeah, if lots of data is embedded, then there might be chances that there's some differences might be coming up in the image. We should control the use of steganography software. We should allow only trusted signatures in our machines or in organization. We should monitor the outbound traffic. In the end, I would like to say, if we follow all these basic safety rules, we'll be secure. Thank you for your patience listening.